It was a cold, foggy morning when Mia Jensen vanished.
Her husband, Ethan, woke up to an empty bed, the faint smell of her perfume still lingering in the air. At first, he thought she had gone for her usual morning jog, but her running shoes were still by the door. The kitchen was spotless, the coffee pot cold. On the counter, there was a note. "I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore." Ethan's heart sank. What couldn't she do? Their marriage, their life together. Mia had always been the steady one, the one who handled life's chaos with grace. Panic set in, and he called the police. By noon, their quiet suburban neighborhood buzzed with activity. Officers, reporters, and neighbors whispered in hushed tones. Ethan tried to stay calm, but as hours turned into days, the questions began. Did she seem upset lately? Were there any arguments? Do you know where she might have gone? Ethan answered as honestly as he could, but each question felt like an accusation. The media painted him as a grieving husband, but there was an undercurrent of suspicion in their coverage. A week after Mia's disappearance, the police found her diary in a drawer. It painted a picture of a woman deeply unhappy in her marriage. Ethan denied everything. "Mia and I had our struggles, but I would never hurt her," he insisted. But the court of public opinion didn't care. Ethan became the prime suspect in Mia's disappearance. The media storm faded eventually, but the scars remained. Ethan sold their home, unable to live in the space where so many painful memories lingered. He moved to the city and started fresh, working long hours at his architecture firm to distract himself. He avoided relationships, unsure if he could ever trust again. Mia stayed in therapy, working through her depression and guilt. She knew she had hurt Ethan deeply, but leaving had been her only way to survive. She moved to a quiet town near the ocean, where she volunteered at a community center and slowly rebuilt her life. 3 years later, fate brought them back together. Ethan was in town for a project, overseeing the renovation of a historic library. After a long day, he stopped at a small cafe for coffee. As he walked in, he froze. Mia was there, sitting by the window with a book in her hands. She looked healthier, more peaceful than he remembered, but the sight of her stirred a storm of emotions. Mia noticed him and stood, hesitating. Before walking over, "Ethan," she said softly. He nodded. "Mia, it's been a while." They sat together, the silence heavy between them. Finally, Ethan spoke. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again." "I didn't think you'd want to," Mia admitted. "I hurt you in ways I can't take back." "You did," Ethan said, his voice calm but firm. "But I've realized over time that we were both hurting. I didn't see how much you were struggling, and for that, I'm sorry." Tears welled in Mia's eyes. "I don't expect forgiveness, but I'm glad you're doing well. You look happier." "I am," Ethan said, surprised to realize it was true. "And you? Are you okay now?" Mia nodded. "Better. I've learned to face things instead of running from them. It's not easy, but I'm trying." They talked for hours, sharing what they had learned and how they had grown. It wasn't about rekindling their relationship, but finding closure and understanding. As they parted ways, Ethan said, "I think we both deserved better back then. I hope you find the happiness you've been searching for." Mia smiled, a genuine smile that reached her eyes. "Thank you, Ethan. I wish the same for you." For the first time in years, they both felt free from the past, the pain, and the weight of what had been. They walked away from that cafe as two people who had been broken and rebuilt, ready to embrace the next chapters of their lives. Thanks for watching. Subscribe my channel.